A very interesting topic today. We will talk about insights that Kirill found spying almost all web funnels in the market. And just Kirill, welcome, and really excited to have you. And while the people join, we already have 60. Wow, cool. We have a poll. You can find it next to chat, and in the poll you can answer. Oh yeah, I see that you already answering that. The question is if you have web funnels already, if you're running web funnels. Oh wow, we have almost 75%, 70% of the who running web funnels, which is good. And let's find out what the audience we have today. And guys, please drop in the chat your position, like UI manager, growth manager, product manager, so we can better understand our audience. As usual, UI manager and traffic guys.
Some growth guys.
Growth guys, yeah. Okay, I think we are good to start. Let's get started. As I mentioned, we have a very exciting topic and very cool expert today, Kirill. And me, I'm a co-founder and CEO of Fox. And a couple of words about FunnelFox. FunnelFox is a platform for building and optimizing web funnel, which includes Figma-like no-code builder for web onboarding. So you can build web onboarding starting from like the first screen advertisement, including experiments and integration with the payment solutions, with our custom checkouts, and integration with analytics and your users and subscriptions with your mobile app, so you can streamline all data from web funnel to your backend and your BI systems analytics. Yeah, let's go on. And Kirill, can you please introduce yourself and a couple
Yes,
of
thanks. Hi, everyone, and thank you for hosting me today. So I'm Kirill. I'm growth marketing expert, paid ads expert, and particularly expert in mobile subscription business and web-to-web funnels. So currently I'm involving in my own educational project, which I explain later, but previously I helped such companies like Zin Coach, Grow Food, and Mobile to scale. So particularly for last 18 months, I help to scale Zin Coach fitness application from $50,000 per month to a few $1 million per month, and in marketing spend and in monthly recurrent revenue. But currently, as I told, I'm running my own educational project, which is called webfunnels.club. Actually, it's first ever course and mastermind and premium membership community for professionals who are building web-to-web funnels. So we are helping projects to launch their first web funnel or to scale their current web funnel. Actually, we are reducing marketing spend and budget to start because we provide comprehensive frameworks and best practices from the market. So you can save your marketing spend and time on failed experiments. And in addition to just theoretical materials, we are also running a community and combine different professionals who are building web-to-web funnels and discussing different topics with them in mastermind groups.
Yeah, it's very cool because we have like similar lack of information, lack of knowledge base web funnels, because like web funnels is not like brand new thing, but it's like for a long time it was like secret weapon for some of the hackers on the market, but now it's growing and expanding, but in the market, like we don't have a lot of information, a lot of frameworks for building web funnels and cutting edge information. And this kind of courses and educational materials, it's really cool stuff to remove the obstacles and to reduce the like costs and time to launch and optimize web funnels, which is cool.
Yeah. So let's jump today's discussion. It will be quite short agenda to keep some time for Q&A and for your question, but I will show some stats and metrics about web funnels market, and then some trends. So yeah, let's go on. Uh, what's the problem around web to web funnels? Actually, it's very like private world. There is no spy services. There is no such tools like DTI or Sensor Tower for mobile apps where you can spy on everyone and understand who is the top leader and what is growing. But I tried to somehow find some workaround around it. And for during my last 2.5 years, I collected a lot of different web funnels because I spied on competitors, on the market. And recently I shared this list of different web funnels in LinkedIn, and we will provide the link at the end of the webinar to the file, but it's just the list. And I thought, how can I use this list to understand what is happening in the world of web funnels? And actually, there is no data about marketing spend or revenue, but there are a lot of different data sources, and we can have some proxy metrics. So I enriched this list with data from spy services and ad libraries. I enriched it with some reviews from Trustpilot, for example. If the product has many reviews, then we can say that it's more popular than the product without reviews. And I also tried to enrich it with some traffic data from similar web, which is not accurate, but there are different proxy metrics, and in total, it reveals us some trends. So, and we'll present today some insights from this research. So let's start. And the
Is
first,
it enough?
yeah,
Sorry, one question: is it enough to to use these tools only, or you should have some like expertise background, like expertise knowledge about web funnels works to understand the
yeah,
volumes, the like performance
I
of the
got, I
funnel?
got you. I got your question. So definitely, you need some context, even to use these tools. You need some experience and background to know what to search and how to interpret this data. Because, for example, you can have some data about ad creatives, but there are different companies who can like not manipulate, but use some different tactics, and they will have different amount of creatives, but it does not mean that they spend different amount of marketing
Mm-hmm.
budget. The same with Trustpilot reviews. Some companies work a lot with reviews and they asking users to provide feedbacks. So definitely they will have much higher number of reviews. So yes, you need to have some knowledge to interpret this data and to double check your
Yeah.
insights with the market. So, and the first insight, which to be honest, it was quite fascinating, it's around the market growth. 33% more web funnels were launched this year compared to last year. So previously, I noticed that there are a lot of new web funnels, but I never tried to measure it. And when I measured, it was quite interesting. 63% growth. And today we will see what verticals, because I also categorized all these funnels by different niches and verticals. So we can see not only the general market trend and growth, but we can see what verticals, top verticals, and what verticals are growing. So let's try to find out. Maybe you can write in comments and try to guess what are top 5 verticals in web to app funnels.
Health.
Send your guesses.
Yeah. Fitness top one. Yeah. Quite mindfulness. Retail. What does mean retail? It's okay. It's e-commerce.
Some
Probably.
e-commerce, yeah.
Okay. Dating.
I think we'll see.
Dating is interesting. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chat.
Just.
Yeah, it's also
So,
interesting guess. Okay, great. So let's like reveal this top list. If you can zoom a little bit to this table so we can have a look, or even closer zoom. So there is a list of vertical. There is also comparison in the number of unique funnels, unique URLs, so we can check the growth rate. But then I decided that probably it's a little bit misleading because some products have a lot of funnels, some product not. So I tried to look at it not only in number of unique funnels, but unique domains and unique brands, because some brands have different domain names for different type of funnels. So, but nevertheless, we can see each way, and it will be more or less the same picture. It will be 60% growth or maybe 70% growth. It will be same top verticals, and it will be same insights. And yes, let's go to the top verticals. Those who sent fitness, they were right. It's number one. Again, can you zoom just to have the number of these funnels? It's around 56 funnels or 59 for fitness. Then it's nutrition and diet, 31. Then it's mental. I combined different topics into mental, ADHD, habits, childhood trauma, etc. It's the next one. It's almost the same number of funnels like in diets. Then it's micro learning services and self improvement. Again, different brands like Headway or Impulse in this category. And then astrology. So those people who sent astrology guesses, they were also right. And dating, actually, it's also not in top five, but it's growing. So 12 funnels. Like in top eight. Okay, let's have a look what are not top verticals, but top growing. It's also interesting because it was a guess about AI chats and yes, AI characters. It's still not in top five yet, but it's growing, as I remember, 400%. But it's logical because last year there were no AI chats yet. But the number of projects who launched AI characters funnel, it's also impressive. It's almost 10 projects. And relationship and dating is growing as well. Uh,
Yeah, relationship and dating, it wasn't a huge niche. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of funnels in
Last
this
year,
niche, but
yeah,
yeah,
this year
yeah.
it's growing. And I combined again. There are some classic dating projects like, I don't know, Tinder style dating. And it also includes different projects for relationships improvement, like paired or some coaches how to flirt with girls. So everything in this category.
Hmm. Yeah, cool.
But this slide doesn't give us insight about the like marketing spend or revenue. And I tried to again find some workaround how to estimate, not in terms of number of funnels, but in terms of some activity. So we don't have data about spend, we don't have data about revenue, but what we have, and it was the main source of data, is number of ad creatives. We can combine it with number of reviews, we can combine it with traffic volume, but it's not so accurate. But from my experience, number of creatives is a very good proxy metric. It's definitely not a metric which uh, like will be equal to marketing spend. There are a lot of details. Some projects they expand to a lot of different geography, so they just copy all the creatives to different geography. Some projects have different paid ad strategy, and for example, they doing a lot of copies of ad sets and ads, and it generates a lot of creatives. But nevertheless, it will be more or less a correct way to understand trends and market segments. If we have seen 60% growth in number of funnels, there is 600% in number of creatives.
Wow, 600. Wow.
Yeah, so it
It's,
was absolutely fascinating when I
yeah.
calculated this metric. And again, we can look at top funnel, top verticals, and it's the same list of verticals, more or less the same. But again, we can pay attention to some interesting things, like, for example, geolocation and utilities. So there are not a lot of funnels yet, but those funnels who exist on the market are growing fast with a lot of creatives. So there is another category which we did not discuss yet, income. So different services who teach us how to earn more money with AI tools, for example, but not only. It's also growing.
Do they have quiz funnels as well, or it's something different?
Almost all this list is about quiz funnels. So
Okay.
I have another collection of links not for quiz funnels, but I excluded them from this list and I just analyzed quiz web to web funnels. So there are no web to app, for example, when you don't have payment method on the web and when you just redirect to the application. Again, it's a separate list which I excluded from the research. It's like standard web to web funnel.
Only funnels with the payments on web and payments
Yes,
and subscription on
yes,
web.
only
Okay.
quiz funnels with payment of web.
Okay. Yeah, taking into account that it's 63% of growing number of funnels, and Meta previously reported in the last few years 50% growth of ad spend on web. And taking into account these numbers, probably it will double volumes this year, like approximately and roughly estimated, which is huge.
Yeah, so let's go to the next slide just to have some time to discuss later. So I prepared some like charts. Again, let's try to guess. So there are different charts. There is a list of recordsmen in the number of creatives. Try to guess in the comments.
Do you mean brands?
Brands,
Yeah,
yes.
by the way.
Name of brands.
Headway, Dwelling, Better Me, Nebula, Simple, Calm, Flow, Living. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Guys have like a good perspective of the market. Yeah.
Christoph is right. Probably it's the guy from the Levant. So yeah, let's reveal the first block. These players have many creatives. So the first one is Levin. It's around 90,000 of creatives which I spied. Then there is Nebula, then Unimil, and there is Famio, which is not so popular on the market yet. And then BetterMe. But to be honest, if we combine all BetterMe funnels, it will be number one. So it will be 200,000 of creatives. But I split it all BetterMe funnels into different funnels. That's why it's not in the number one position. Okay, so let's try to guess who is growing fast if compared to 2023 in the number of creatives. It's again Living.
Cursive, Living. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't. So let's reveal because I tried to show some projects which are not so familiar because actually Living, they have a lot of creatives last year and they have a lot of creatives this year, so they're not in top among those who are growing. So let's reveal this block. It will be some new projects. So the first one is Hypnosio. So send a plus in comments who know the product. So Hypnosio is growing too fast with a lot of different funnels.
What?
So Hypnosio is about how to achieve some goals with hypnotherapy, how to lose weight, how to quit smoking, how to fix relationships, but with hypnotherapy.
Nice
Uh,
approach.
yeah, Better Me again because I split Better Me into different funnels. Here are the funnels who are growing fast in terms of creatives. I don't know nothing about marketing spend, but walking and treadmill workouts are growing. Then Femia, which is competitor to Flow, so it's a product for women for fertility, and Famio, which is has more or less same name, but it's geolocation utility app.
It's interesting, yeah, because they have a very big competitor of Live 360 or something like that, and Live 360 doesn't have web finals,
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
know.
Still, a lot of
Yeah,
players from this category don't have web to web funnels and attract users directly to App Store.
yeah.
And the last one, again, let's try to guess in the comments number top brands by the number of different unique funnels. Okay,
Better me.
yeah, it's difficult not to notice Better Me funnels because it's huge. Yeah, okay, let's
Let me.
reveal this block as well. So Betterme is absolutely correct, but then there are a lot of funnels of Nebula. Then there is Yoga Go, again Gipnosio. They have many different angles and different funnel for each angle. Muscle Booster and Harna. Uh, okay, let's go to the next slide, and then we will go on with some trends. So I don't have more data with metrics, but I want to highlight some popular mechanics or trends during this year. And the number one trend, again, is the rise of web to web popularity. We already discussed how it's growing in numbers, but it's noticeable not only in terms of like metrics, but like it's absolutely adopted by the industry. So a lot of mobile platforms integrated web to web. There are some no-code builders of web to web funnels like FunnelFox, Revenue Cat, and Adapti have introduced some solutions to for web payments and etc. And again, there are a lot of information about web to web funnels. So this course on web to web funnels is not the only one material. There are a lot of free guides from FunnelFox, from AdQuantum, a lot of information from influencers in LinkedIn about web to web. So definitely the year when it became popular. The next trend, which is interesting, we just discussed top players with the number of unique funnels, and this year it's evident that brands are growing, launching multiple funnels, sometimes even in the related categories, not in the original. Like, for example, fitness products going to diet. Better Me, for example, they have a lot of different funnels, not only around fitness, but for mental health, ADHD, relationships, some physical goods. Another example is Hypnozo with different funnels, how hypnotherapy could help to with weight loss, with alcohol addiction, with relationships, and etc. And for example, Nebula, they have also different funnels in astrology, but with different angles around life addiction, codependency, standard astrology, and etc. Witch power plan, for example.
Yeah, so it looks like leaders iterate a lot with ad creatives and with their web funnels, creating more and more targeted web funnels for different segments of their audience. Yeah.
Yeah, so they start with creatives, and there is a like a link between ad creative and the funnel. So they segmenting the audience into different segments and expanding their reach with such strategy. So let's go to the next trend, which is also I haven't seen a lot of it last year, but this year there are many projects who playing with some engaging and interactive mechanics during the onboarding. So, for example, there are some players who are asking users to finger on the camera and they're measuring the pulse. Or, for example, some astrology funnels where you can scan your palm and get some insights during the web onboarding. So it looks not like obvious because usually there is a huge drop when you try to introduce such mechanic to the onboarding, but sometimes this drop could be compensated by the increase in conversion rate because these users will be they will get the aha moment and they will be very motivated to try the product. So another trend is popularity of intra offers and these 3 options paywalls. So if you go through this list of 300 onboardings, probably 70% of them will use more or less the same pattern with 3 options as a paywall, with sometimes with different price plans. And again, almost always these price plans will have the discount on the first subscription period. So it looks like it's very efficient mechanic right now for a lot of projects.
They switch from the mechanic where they selling paid trial that converts to subscription, right? And
Yeah,
like
probably 2 years ago was the most popular mechanics which was introduced by Noom. It was paid trial when you choose the price, and then you get annual subscription, for example, or monthly subscription, but it was paid trial mechanic, yeah. And now it's a lot of projects shifted from paid trial to these 3 options paywall without trial, but with some intra discount offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go on. Another trend is Apple Pay as some like primary and default payment method. Again, last year it was not so popular, and just in the beginning of last year, web views allowed to implement Apple Pay as payment method because previously it was blocked by non-native browsers, and currently it's the most popular mechanic on the market to offer Apple Pay button as the main method. And I think it's last thing, maybe not. Again, it's increasing popularity of monetization after the purchase. So there are different type of upsells which projects try to sell. Sometimes it's some one-time offers, sometimes they sell additional subscriptions, and it could be some like a cascade of different upsells. So Noom is the best example. With I can't remember. Andrew knows better how many upsells they have.
6 upsells and 2 upgrades.
Yeah, 6 upsells and 2 upgrades after the purchase. It's around 25 more screens after the purchase for upsells. And if previously only Noom did it, currently a lot of funnels at least implement 1 upsell. So let's go to the next slide. In terms of traffic sources, so TikTok, the popularity of TikTok has risen this year, and it has proven to be an effective channel for web funnels. So for some projects, sometimes TikTok volume in marketing spend, sometimes it's even bigger than Meta. So again, if we look back to the previous year, TikTok was tiny, and now a lot of projects try to launch TikTok. Let's go to the next slide. So, and this year also interesting because some regulations appeared. So it's not like one-sided coin because the popularity of web funnels is growing and the amount of dark patterns which is being used on the market is growing as well. A lot of different providers try to regulate the market, so it should be not so aggressive to users. And this summer, the most known law, FTC launched click to cancel law, which will be implemented next year, again in July next year, with some guidelines how products should offer cancellation flows to users. So it should be easy to cancel for users. It should be clear how when they purchase the product, how they will be charged, how much, at what time period, and etc. And it will be required to request explicit user consent for subscription and for renewals. So another regulation, let's go to the next slide, is around also privacy and some cookies, especially in Europe. So mandatory cookie consent banners were implemented in Europe and in California. And for example, if you want to run Google Ads in Europe, now you should implement these cookie consent banners. Otherwise, advertiser networks will limit the ad visibility. Yeah, definitely this year was full of such regulations. And let's finalize with some ideas and thoughts about the future. It's not the forecast, it's some rough ideas what we could expect in the future from my point of view, which is very subjective. So I think that more products will launch web to web funnel, and some verticals which were not in the list this year, they will try to launch it. So hopefully it will be gaming, it will be iGaming, it will be betting. So nothing should stop it. It should work in web to web. So obviously regulations will tighten. So it will be fewer dark patterns on the market, especially from big market players like BetterMe and etc. And we don't know how it will be regulated, but probably some moderation will appear from Apple side, from Google Play, from payment providers like Stripe, PayPal, Adyen, etc. So we will see. I think that some affiliate traffic on CPA basis will appear again on the market because previously it worked in the era of mobile apps when there were some tracking links. Then these tracking links broken because of SCAD network. So web to web funnels provide option to give tracking link and track everyone with UTM. So probably some affiliate traffic appears will appear in the future. And I think that this quiz funnel mechanics also will be improved and will be more complex and comprehensive. So there are already some elements of interactive, like this face scanners, palm scanners, etc. There are not only quiz funnels exist on the market. There are advertorials, there are webinars. Probably it will be mixed somehow. And for some verticals, quiz funnels will not work, but some advertorials, for example, will work for them with web payment and then redirect to the app. So we will see. Just my
Yeah,
guess.
thank you very much. It's really useful and really interesting insights and forecast for the next year. Let's move on to Q&A session, and we have a lot of questions in our chat. Yeah, we're going to send you slides in follow-up email and the recording of the funnel of webinar, of course, so you get all materials. And also you can find the list of the funnels that you demonstrated in our handout section.
So let's provide the link right now, probably in the
Yeah,
pop-up.
you can
Yeah.
see it here. And also another link for the Funnels Club, which is like a resource for with the educational course and community. You can enroll here. Yeah, let's go to the questions. We have not a lot of time, but hope we can cover some questions. The first question: do you find examples of web to app funnels for non-subscription models, such as for IAPs or gaming?
I have not yet, but I think it will appear in the future. So it's quite difficult to launch some web funnel when there is no anyone to spy and to have references. That's why fitness vertical is the most popular right now. It's not because fitness web funnel works for fitness. It's because you have Better Me and everyone can copy Better Me. Then there is after that there are a lot of other players who you can copy. The same for other verticals. So it's a problem of products who don't have competitors yet. It's difficult to launch a web funnel right now, because you should copy. You can't copy, so you should come up with some new, fresh ideas. But from the other side, it's an advantage, because if you launch it, so you will be the first one. And
Mm.
for example, in the list, there is one player from, how it's called, novel stories, romantic stories, when you read these stories for females on subscription basis. And probably there are some projects which with not only subscription, but with some in-app purchases, when you can buy some more stories for coins. There is one player on the market who is doing web-to-web funnel. So there is in this collection of funnels.
Yeah.
So um,
Okay. Thank you. Another question: how do you do that? I mean, that analyze this using AI and data annotation tools, something like that.
so I had some context and knowledge from my like work experience. So I know how to search and what to search. Then I used different spy services, and then I used AI as well. For example, to scrape some data quickly, I used AI. So for example, I tried to enrich this list with traffic from similar web. So if you do it manually, it's too long, but you can use AI to write some script and use API.
Okay, cool. Do you see personalization along the funnel as well, or only at the landing page? Meaning the onboarding is different based on the topic.
Definitely, there is some personalization. So it depends on the how deep is the personalization. So there are a lot of examples when they personalize onboarding. For example, again, let's take Noom as example. So they have this weight prediction chart, which is being recalculated through the whole onboarding based on the answers. And at first stage, you have some predict when you will lose weight, and then this time will be shrinked and will be shortened based on your responses.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are different cases of personalization.
Yeah, I would also add that sometimes there's a personalization for different segments of users and not just a topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question: when company have several funnels, how they adapt the product for these new topics?
It depends again. So it depends on the product. So some have like universal product which could be adapted to different market segment. So for example, fitness app could have different workout plans for different market segments, for yoga, for Pilates, etc. Or it could be again astrology, but for different segments or for different jobs. So I want some, I don't know, tarology because I divorced, or because I just was fired from the my work, or because of something else. So it could be universal product, but with different angles.
Yeah, for example, Better Me, as far as I know, it's like a super app with a different type of content. Yeah, like for fitness, it's like fitness exercise. For us, it's like includes Pilates exercises.
Yeah.
Okay. The question regarding the monetization strategy and these three options for subscription plan. Also, most of them doesn't provide free trial process in the offer. Does it have a specific reason?
I think yes. Again, it depends. It's a question of A/B testing and experimentation. But the problem with trial, the most common problem, that if you acquire users to trial, then you will have the problem of trial to purchase conversion, and you will acquire a lot of users with not enough amount on the bank account, so you can't renew them. So that's why sometimes it's more efficient to charge whole subscription price, because again it works for paid ads, and at some stage Meta and TikTok algorithm, the pixel will be seasoned with the audience who made a purchase. So if you provide trial, so TikTok at some stage will be optimized to drive users who will convert to trial. but it doesn't mean that they have money to renew. So that's why the main reason.
Yeah. Another question, what are the main issues or bottlenecks for web funnels?
So the first issue is just to launch because it's a too complex problem. It involves not only like development side, so it's a complex of user acquisition and paid ads. It's building the funnel, it's monetization. So you should not only build some storytelling and onboarding, but provide efficient checkout with good payment methods, payment options. And then there is some like infrastructure around that, how to support it, how to analyze. And if you do payments on your side, so you should deal with chargebacks, with refunds, and etc. So a lot of complex things. It's, I think, the main problem. And then, but if you go deeper, the most popular challenge for projects is paid ads. It doesn't matter if it's web funnel or just mobile subscription app. Usually the problem is that products don't know how to run paid ads, how to produce a lot of performance ad creatives on a scale and convert it into the process, not in the like randomness and some luck.
Yeah. So a lot of small details that really impact your performance. Yeah, and you need to do it properly. And only 2% of the ad creatives can scale. Yeah, so you need to really be good at creatives.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of variables. So you are testing creatives and trying to build the process,
Yeah.
but you don't know if your funnel works or not. So you're trying to do different things simultaneously, optimizing the funnel, optimizing the ad creative process and paid ads, and it takes some time and a lot of experimentation.
Yeah, this is why Funnel Fox and Funnels Club course exists to simplify this cold start problem.
Yeah, definitely. It is the reason and the main problem which we are trying to help
Yeah.
to simplify these first steps
Yeah.
and eliminate some stupid mistakes and failed experiments.
Yeah. Okay. Another question is really interesting. Which verticals do we see performing best on TikTok? What do you think?
I think all these top verticals from the list doing well on TikTok. So actually, TikTok currently works not worse than Facebook in terms of optimization, in terms of audience. So probably it's a little bit more of younger audience, but again, not too much. Algorithms are so good that if you use ad creatives and you season your pixel with the right signals, TikTok could find, for example, older senior audience for you, which will convert and which will pay. So I don't see big difference currently between Meta and TikTok. It's a little bit different in terms of how it works, how many creatives you should test, which creatives, and etc. But not in terms of audience and ROAS and marketing efficiency.
Okay, cool. What are the benchmarks for reaching the application after purchasing subscription, and how to get the maximum there?
I did not get the question.
What's the benchmark for conversion rate when a user purchases subscription and get to application?
Conversion rate from the purchase to
To to to to, to
activation in the
download this
application?
application, yeah.
Usually it's quite high. It's 90-95%. It depends on, again, how you implemented it. So there is a flow, how you onboard your users after the purchase to the application. Do you use deep link, or do you use email and password, or do you use some social app login?
What's the best practice for maximize this conversion?
So there are different methods. Usually you should use some deep link. You should use some follow-up email with the link to download the app. So you should provide some simple way for users who install your application from the App Store to log in if they already have the purchase. and you should set up analytics in correct way to understand that the same user.
Yeah. Another question, how to spy funnels, but you already like answered that, but let's briefly
Yeah,
and
so
like
there is
probably
no standard process, so it's difficult. So it's not like sensor tower. So you spy not web funnels, you spy the market in spy services. You notice something interesting. At some stage, you notice some quiz funnels, but then you can iterate. So you can spy some keywords. You can spy some creative memes. For example, a lot of players use Duolingo for creatives. So you can just search for Duolingo for as a keyword in Facebook ads library, and you definitely find a lot of mobile applications, and some of them will have quiz funnels. So you can look for keywords, take a survey or take a quiz, because a lot of players again use these keywords in the ad description. You can find some ads and fun pages. And then you just iterate, and build your funnel list, something like that.
can you share a name of apps who had success on TikTok with web onboarding? You
You
already mentioned that all that, but probably you can list
you can
three
go
top.
just again. You can go and spy. So TikTok has a great inspiration library with a lot of creatives. So you can
Yeah,
just
it's true.
spy mobile app category or some other verticals and look at those who has a lot of creatives. And TikTok has two libraries. One is like a general library for inspiration, and another one for Europe, because there is a law which requires ad networks to provide data. So for Europe, if some product run a lot of ads, in Europe, you can not only spy ads, but you can spy reach, impressions, etc., and find different successful apps.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're already running over time. Let's probably cover a couple of questions. Yeah, and we're going to wrap it up. And how important is the form of collecting emails on landing page?
It's not critical, but it's important. And it works for two objectives actually. You can use this email as a first step for account creation, and it was a question about how to log into the app. So if you collect email, then you can create account easily. It the one reason. Another reason, you can use CRM campaigns, some, for example, abandoned cart email campaigns, to convert users who did not purchase at the funnel, but they left email. So you are building the base, and then you can follow up with some CRM campaigns. You can build retarget segments, and again follow up with paid ads as well. So it's not critical, but it helps you to get additional like 5 to 10% of revenue. For some leaders of the market, it could be even 20% if you do it right.
Yeah, you answered the next question. The question was about the like amount of revenue going through CRM. Okay, the last question. Is it safe to say that there is a correlation between the number of creatives and revenue?
It's not safe, no. So it's you should interpret it correctly. So probably just one more proxy metric to understand trends, but it does not mean then, for example, Levin have more creatives than Nebula, then Levin spent more. No, it depends on the geography. So if you launch into different geographies with the same set of creatives, then you could double, triple your number of creatives. Again, if you launch a lot of ad duplicates, you'll have much higher creatives. And for example, there is a mechanic in some verticals when you launch some creatives each week with exact date in the creative text. For example, we are launching some challenge which starts on Monday, 18th of December. And next week you launch same set of creatives with another date. And of course, such projects will generate more creatives. So that's why there is no 600% growth of the market. It's definitely something between 60 and 600. I think it's something like 100%.
So basically, the idea is to get as more signals as you can to understand what most likely works and what doesn't. And anyway, you need to test it on your own experiments in your funnels and your creatives. It just provide you some signals where you can get inspired and where you can go. What
Yeah.
niches.
There is one more question which I want to answer, and probably I should a little bit edit the file. So the question that I'm trying to check links in the file, and many of them are not working. The problem is there are two columns. One is domain name and another one with a funnel. If you're checking domain name, it probably does not work because it's not the funnel, it's just domain name. Click on the funnel link, it should work. If it doesn't work, probably some products during this webinar already fixed something and changed. But I think you are trying to click on the domain name.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up. And thank you very much. It's like a really insightful and really useful webinar, and with a lot of information, a lot of insights and forecast for the next year. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for joining us today, and a nice evening, day, or yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for hosting me. It was interesting to talk about.